What's up, y'all? It's Casey. I appreciate y'all tapping in to Keep Christ. Y'all, today we have another Houston basketball legend, y'all. Shannon Shorter, y'all. So we gonna get into it, and I'm just excited, honestly, to just hear the gems he gonna be dropping, because he already was dropping gems pre-recording, so I'm already know it's gonna be good. But all in all, man, we're excited to just hear his story and just how God has impacted his life over time, and just, yeah, man. Shannon, how you feeling?
I'm amazing. You know, I always give people like different adjectives when they ask how you doing, because I feel like the words have power.
Yeah.
Right? So like what you putting out there, that's gonna always come back to you. No
Yeah.
matter what space you in, mentally, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Obviously you can be honest with yourself, but at the same time, God tell you to speak life into yourself.
Yeah.
You know, so
Dang, that was already, you already getting into the meat of it. That's good, man. No, for real. Like when we just casually talking, it just like, it's like, nah, let's speak some positivity of ourselves. And yeah, that was our geesh. Golly, getting it. So, man, I kind of, like I already told you before this, like I've always, y'all, Shannon's somebody that I've admired from afar, man. Not only just how the way you serve the community, but just how you do it in humility, and you always just paying reverence to God for it all. So my question to you is like, what point in your life would you say you gave full reverence to God? And like, was there a pivotal point in your life that you experienced to where you said, man, look, everything I do, everything I am, I owe it to God?
That's a good word. So like, I wasn't one that came up in the church. I was like that like holiday Christian. You know what I'm saying? Christmas, Mother's Day type time, Easter. Obviously, we going to the church house, but I ain't have a relationship. But I had a sister that prayed for me, like prayed for me, fasted for me, everything. Like I remember vividly her putting the oil on my forehead in high school, like, and I never understood what the gist of that was. But fast forward, when I got to college, it was like a Bible study group. One of my teammates invited me to, and I started going consistently. That really wasn't the change. The change happened when I graduated from college, and I was down for like, when I say down, I wasn't working. I was in like a rough patch for like a year and a half, 2 years. So in that season of my life, I had a lot of like idle time, right? And I feel like idle time is like the worst time.
Right.
Because your mind can go in a million places. Right. I was filling out job applications, not getting calls back, still training, doing what I'm doing. I used to meet with my pastor every day though. Like my sister led me to the church. When I came home from college, she took me to Bethel's family, Pastor Walsh August Jr. He's still the pastor. So when she took me, I went to service twice. And then that second Sunday, I joined the church. And then from there, I built a relationship, built a rapport with the pastors, the ministers, and etc. So during my time when I was down, struggling, I ain't really had nothing going on, I'll just go to the church. And they used to just speak life over me, pray over me. And it was just one night, I thought I would be able to, like, my agent called me, right? And he told me basically, like, we're going to have this opportunity for you, whoop to whoop, and etc. And it didn't come. And that was on the back end of a lot of like no's, right? And I just remember going on a walk that night, like a Damascus Road experience, you know, that Paul went through. And I just had a sense of peace over me though. And from that point forward, because at that season in my life, my mom wasn't working. My brother, they just cut his hours at his job, and he had my niece. So it was like a lot of like friction in the house. And you know, when everybody in like the same situation, your mind wonder, and I can understand why individuals, why homies I got like in survival mode.
Yeah.
Where they just like, I need it now. Like I can't, if it don't come now, I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
I understand that mental space because I was in that space.
Yeah.
But thank God I had my pastors and ministers who used to pray for me, give words to me of encouragement, Bible study with me. And fast forward, you know, God been good.
Man, nah, that's what's up. And even with, like you saying, when you're in those kind of spaces, like in the midst of struggle, in the midst of lacking, right? And it's hard to really wrap your mind around like, okay, all I know is I need to go get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that kind of influences now the kind of hustle culture mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's just like you said, like sitting and realizing, like, dang, like we all we all in this spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And later you realize, like, okay, if I submit, God, when you submit to God, He's the provider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard to like wrap your mind around because again, all you see is like, man, I'm hungry today.
Yeah.
And I don't have the means to feed myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, man, as you just as you journey through life, like you just kind of just learn as you go. You know what I mean?
Some of the greatest times of my life, though, hindsight 2020, was like when you don't have resources.
Yeah.
That may be weird to say.
Yeah.
But it's like, in essence, when I was in A-Leaf on Spice Lane with my cousins, we was 8 deep in a 2-bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Best time of my life. Like, we don't know what's going on. We just with each other every day, laughing, running around the apartments.
Yeah.
Outside, you know what I'm saying, just doing what we got to do. But it ain't till you get outside of that circumference, that diameter, that you see like, nah, this ain't regular.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this ain't how life's supposed to be. I still got cousins in South Park, ain't been out of South Park. Like, that's all they know. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, me going overseas, doing what I'm doing these last 12, 13 years, like, I understand it's another side of life that a lot of people don't get to experience. Where it's like, you can go to other cultures, you can fly on private planes, it's so much more to life that God have for you.
Right.
It's just you being faithful in the few.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And like my first job, when I first got my first opportunity, I think a lot of people know this, I was in Mexico, making $500 a month. I had a little twin bed, but I feel like we talked about this off camera, like, I came up in a twin bed. So that experience wasn't wasn't like foreign to me. It wasn't like, dang, y'all got me
right
in like, I was very comfortable.
Right.
Like, I already experienced this. Like, I was comfortable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I told you, like, God gonna put you in situations prior to you getting to the moment in your life that's gonna make sense once you get to that moment. It's like, damn,
that's what that was. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
how do you change the mentality of the people who still think like that? Like, how do you try to shift the way that they think?
Have gratitude. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. The Bible says you keep your eyes straight before you. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be thankful in all circumstances.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be thankful all the time.
Yeah.
I get it. You feel me? I get it. I've seen it. I done been it. I done been in them situations. But if you just have a mindset of like, I'm grateful because I'm still alive type.
Yeah.
Like, I heard Nuri Muhammad say in the interview, he was like, if God woke you up today, that means he ain't give up on you. So how can you give up on yourself?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, as long as you got blood from the lungs, I feel like you got an opportunity.
Right.
Now, what you do with each day, each 24, that's on you.
Right.
You can have a woe is me type spirit, or you can put some action behind what you're trying to accomplish and move forward.
Yeah.
So I just think the cure and the to like shifting the mind is just not comparing, but just being thankful and grateful where you are.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God got you in that space for a reason.
Right.
You may not understand it now, but in due time, it's going to make sense.
No, for real. And I think sometimes we can even overlook the testing of just our, I don't use the word emotion, just like our heart behind the season that we're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I mean, what I say is like, if we have not yet reached the promise, God, will I still thank you in this day? Like, even if you don't do it, like, am I content enough with you alone, God? You know what I mean? And a lot of the times, again, we know that God knows our heart, right?
Yeah.
There's a scripture that speaks about we don't get what we asked for because sometimes because our heart is not right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even when you ask for what you want, you don't get it because your heart intentions ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times I've learned, like, okay, God, even like the pre-promise phases, like, okay, God, even before I get all that you've said, all that you've promised me, I'm gonna be content and be joyful and thankful in what you've already given me. Because even in sitting in the now, I'm further than where I was. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we lose sight of where we used to be, not to appreciate where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, because the flesh is never satisfied.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like even if you get all that you want today, you'll still want something tomorrow more.
Real
you know
life.
what I mean?
Real life.
And so, man, I was just thinking about that last night. Like, okay, this week I'm gonna focus on being content in the now. Like, God, okay, I'm thankful. Like, you know, we not where we want to be, but we ain't where we used to be.
As well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, I know I said mouthful, but yeah, that's something I think about daily, man. So was there, even in, I guess you're still playing overseas right now.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
even as you're traveling and playing overseas, what do you think beyond the basketball? What do you think the assignment is on your life right now?
That's a good word. That's a good question. I ain't never been asked that in that context. So like, I just feel like I'm here to serve, right? Like I know, like I have a foundation. You know, we do a lot in the community: scholarships, basketball camps, haircut, school supply drives, turkey giveaways, and I the gist of the foundation, right? The purpose is just to serve my people.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Right? In any aspect I can help or facilitate. Cause I feel like I've been in them shoes.
Yeah.
Where like I think God gave me the athletic ability to get an athletic scholarship.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know what my mom would have did.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So like I believe, and I said this before, I believe if like, say you were high school graduate, right? And you want to go to school, you want to fulfill a dream, you got a vision you have, you know, engineer, doctor, whatever the case may be, you got to get your degree, right? I believe, me personally, that if I invest in you, right, here go $1,000 check to go towards your schooling, right? When them times get difficult, I feel like you're going to remember that person who believed in you. Yeah. Right? And I just reverted back to the story when Joseph was in prison, right? And he had it was the cupbearer and the other individual in the prison with him, right? And they got to leave. Yeah. And all he said was, look, just remember me. Yeah. I told you your dream. Just, hey, when you meet the king, just remember me. Yeah. Right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like I'm still struggling. Yeah. But y'all getting to live in bliss now. Yeah. Right? And I'm just telling you, just mention me. Just remember me, right?
That's good.
So that just double back to what I was saying as far as like when I invest in a child, like in a student that's getting ready to go to school, when them times get difficult, when you like, damn, I want to drop out, bro. I don't even want to do this no more. Yeah. Like, I feel like they gonna remember, this person. Yeah. He invested in me to fulfill what I said I wanted, what you said you want to do. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And so I feel like some of the hardest battles in them conversations is them conversations you have with yourself. Yeah. And I revert that to like the prodigal son. Yeah. Right? He talked himself into a situation and he talked himself out of a situation. He was at the highs of highs, got to the pig pen. He had a conversation with himself. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it wasn't nobody else around when, I sinned against my father and count me as one of your hired hands, as one of your servants. I don't even deserve it. He was talking to himself. Yeah. Preparing his speech for his father because he like, look, I put myself, he took accountability. Yeah. And I feel like that's hard for a lot of people to do because like I said, them conversations with yourself where you got to be honest with yourself. Yeah. You start to see like the negatives of you. Yeah. Per se. Yeah. I know I went in a lot of different ways.
No. That was good. Yeah.
But my purpose, I feel like, is just to serve and just be a light to my people and uplift, encourage, and just I always pray every morning just to accomplish what He have for me to do. Right? Just make sure I accomplish what You have for me to do. You know what I'm saying? Because we can get in our own way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You feel me? So just to keep it short, I just think I'm here to just serve and just uplift and just be a light and empower individuals.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel that. So the way that your sister prayed for you and the way that she planted seeds in you, are there any ways that you see yourself intentionally being that for the people around you? Like some of the homies or some of the family members that you see, like, man, they going down the wrong direction, and it's like you being intentional about the way that you coming behind them in the spirit.
No, absolutely. I feel like every morning it's like a group about 10 of us. I just sent out what I've been meditating on that night before. Right? A little prayer, little scripture, meaning behind it, send it out. And then I got homies that always tap in with me. Just, hey, bro, I need a word, bro. Give me something, bro. Like, what's going on, bro? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I got people I tap in with too, though.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not too far removed from real situations.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So like, I still need that accountability partner. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, for sure. I definitely tap in because I see my people. I see my homies, like, they mindset.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you continuously sow a seed in somebody, eventually, something gonna shift.
Yeah.
Like my pastor say, he always say, I believe one encounter with God, you will never come back the same.
Right. Like that road again to Damascus.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just one encounter.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I continue sowing the seed, I'm doing my part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man accountable to himself, but I'm doing my part.
Right. So how do you determine the difference personally? Like whenever you say, okay, I see that I got to keep this homie around because the influence that I have on him, between the ones that God said, okay, you're going to have to step back from them because now we have two completely different paths. Like, how do you determine the difference of
that? I feel like you can just tell who genuine at their core.
Yeah.
Like, who really want, like, bro, I'm really just doing this because this all I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know nothing else.
Yeah.
But moving and grooving how I'm grooving. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time, it's also people that just, for lack of a better word, take your kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I got a pure soul. When I say that, like, who I am is who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't no facade. If I look at you, if I shake your hand, I'm going to make eye contact with you, you're going to feel my presence. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, anytime my spirit is off, when I encounter somebody, I just feel like, okay, you may not be on that path I'm on. And that's not for me to say.
Right.
But just the energy I'm getting in reciprocation ain't aligning with where I'm at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Nah, I feel that. And I think it too is like it's so important, even whenever we reach those places in our life where we are on a different path to people. It's not personal to say like, yeah, we just on two completely, like you keep the road open for whenever they reach that place to say, okay, I want what Shannon has. You know what I mean? Like you don't make people feel
less than.
Yeah. Right?
No, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the times, that's how people feel, you know? You don't make it hard for them to feel like they can't come to you in the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I feel like if I'm your man, like your homie.
Yeah.
Right? The worst thing I can do is lie to you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing I can do.
Yeah.
And like I know, like if somebody coming to me, they know, okay, Shannon gonna be 1 million.
Yeah.
Like it ain't gonna be no facade. It ain't gonna be no gimmick. Nah, bro, you wildin'.
Yeah.
This why you wildin'. Let me give you some biblical backing.
Yeah.
And just give you some real life.
Yeah.
Life type time talk. You feel what I'm saying? So, I feel like that's just what they see in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an open door.
Yeah.
Anybody. Open door. You'll be amazed at what I be DMs I get type time. Like, you know, people I don't even know from a pound of bricks type, you know?
Yeah.
And but
nah, that's real. That's real. One of my friends, she said this last time. She was just like, you want friends, people around you who gonna drag you back to the cross.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even when that's telling you stuff like you don't want to hear. You know what I mean? If you constantly, you know, telling me everything and co-signing with the foolishness that I know that I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what good does that really do for us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think we just kind of in a time now where it's really undervalued to have friends like that.
Yeah.
You know? Because, you know, everybody just wants somebody to just, you know, say, hey, nah, you always right. No.
Toot they horn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so me personally, I need people to tell me when I'm wrong, hold me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, that's what real friendship is. That's what real, you know, that's just the kind of people that you want. And so, yeah, I think that's important. But anyways, something I wanted to ask you was, what's your foundation? Like, what encouraged you to like step out and do that?
So really, it's like twofold. Like, internally, I had always wanted to be somebody that like gave back, and etc. Right. So I just give donations and etc. Right. And then my financial advisor was like, "Hey, bro, why don't you just start a foundation? The money you putting out, it can come right back to you, and etc. And is it just smarter to move that way? You look more like a business in essence, right? And then just at my core, like, I seen my mama like being a cool cup lady.
Yeah.
In the apartments.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I seen that with my eyes. I seen her like figure it out. Like, whatever she gotta do. She worked in education for 30 years. On the side, she was a cool cup lady.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And that showed me like we was comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, is no excuse.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
And so with that mindset I had, I just always felt like we not the only family going through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, with the free basketball camps, with the food giveaways and all that, I'm just really just giving back to what I experienced.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nah, that's real. That's real. I'm just thinking about even my own situations, like what influenced me, and that's that exact answer that you gave. Like, sometimes when we've experienced a certain thing in our childhood, we grow up, it could either influence you one way or the other. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just grow up wanting to be that person that you wish you had. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was heavy. It made me think about my own self.
That's a good word.
You know what I mean? Was there ever a point in your life where what's the way that I want to word it? Like, you ever questioned God to the point where it's like, okay, like, nah, this ain't it?
Hell yeah. 1000%.
Yeah.
So I ain't never told this story. And for me to tell it now, I mean, it's wild. But so before I got married, I called off my engagement. Right? And I went on a fast for a week. Right? And literally the last day of the fast, the 7th day, right? I'm in my man cave listening to a sermon by T.D. Jakes. It's called Conversations in the Cave. He talking about Elijah when he was on the one from Jezebel, right? And he found himself sleeping on a rock, and God appeared to him like, bro, what you doing out here? Like, this ain't what I had for you. Like, you just killed 450 demons. Now you on the run because why? You know, and so you know, God appeared to him a whisper, right? So I'm in the way T.D. Jakes articulating it is basically God not gonna be in the noise. So you got to get quiet so you can hear him, right? So I'm in my man cave at my house, boohoo crying. Like, this is right before I call off the engagement. Yeah. So like, I don't like making emotional decisions. Right. Like if I feel away, I'm gonna take 2-3 days to like contemplate, figure it out. But this was like a real situation. Yeah. So a week went by, cool. Next day I called off the engagement, but I didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. Like, but I felt like I was at peace though. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like the Atlas, mm-hmm. lifted off my shoulders type, and it was just like that season was very dark and like lonely for me because I didn't like, okay, God, like what's next? Yeah. Like I did what you told me to do, called off the engagement. What's next? Mm-hmm. And I think the worst thing some people go through is like being uncomfortable and sticking in that uncomfortableness. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because nobody want to be uncomfortable. Thanks. Nobody want to be uneasy. Yeah. And etc. But I was very uncomfortable. Like internally, spiritually, mentally, I didn't know an answer. I didn't know anything. Right. And I sat there, I just prayed. And God, he appeared like right at the right time though. It's weird. Like you can be praying for months. And then it's like something just hit you like, that's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it happened. And at the same time, I will say this, like, don't be a people pleaser. Yeah. That's a word. Don't make decisions because it may rub such and such the wrong way or rub this person the wrong way. Like, do what's it right with your soul. Yeah. Like your soul, right? And one of my favorite scriptures is in Psalms. He said, when my spirit is overwhelmed within me, you know my way. You feel what I'm saying? Like when you got angst and you just uneasy, like God know the path you about to take. Yeah. He know everything before it happens. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So that season it was tough on me. Like it was tough. Like thoughts was cloudy, dark. I just didn't really and then at that time, like I wasn't looking for like validation or nothing like that. I was literally looking to just express myself, pour myself out, and I don't need your opinion. Yeah. Like I already know what God told me. Okay, you can have an opinion, but that's not what I'm expressing myself to you for. Yeah. Like, I don't need you to pick a side. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And I just felt like people was tone deaf to that. So at that moment, I didn't know who I really could talk to. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was a lot of like internal questioning going on. Yeah. But 3 years later, I've been married. God, that's what's up, man. You said a lot, man. Even when you talking about those spaces you get with God, where you really just lacking understanding, you really not understanding what you feeling, not even really understanding what He's telling you to do, right? And not being so influenced by your emotions. Yeah. To where it's like, okay, God, what you're telling me is going against what I'm feeling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nevertheless, like I'll still obey you and do what you said. Yeah. It's that uncomfort that really will make you question. It's like, obviously we know that we'll never know the thoughts and the ways of God, right? He sees the bigger picture, even when we just see us in that state, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, dang, it's just really having to trust, like, and rely on what you're saying. Like, I was just talking to one of my friends last night about even those times where you don't hear God. Man. You know what I mean? When you're being so intentional to hear Him and you still don't hear Him. When you're being so intentional to feel Him and you still don't feel Him. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's when God is maturing your trust in Him. Like, will you still trust me when you can't trace me? Will you still trust me when you can't feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, that's when you solely have to rely on what His word says. Yeah. Right? You said, okay, God, I don't feel you, but you said that you'll never leave me nor forsake me. That's what your word say, and I know you're not going to lie to me. Mm-hmm. So I got to trust that because your word says that, regardless of what I can't feel, can't see, like you a man of your word, so I got to ride this season out hanging on that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so, man, I know that feeling all too well. It's like, God, what we doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And you start feeling like stuck.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like burn a bush or something.
Yeah. Show me something.
You know what I mean? And so, man, that ain't talked about enough. Like, oof, that's hitting some stuff. Like the behind the door type warring with God. We were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the warring, like the okay, God, like I ain't necessarily agreeing with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But you know, you father, like you dad, like
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to do that anyway because you know what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes we got to just keep that in mind, like, oh, what's best for me? You have a plan. For I know the plans that I have for your life to give you a future and a hope, not for disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's hang on that.
Yeah.
You know, oh, okay, you have plans for a hope in the future. So in the midst of this agony, in the midst of this place that I don't want to be, I got to trust that you said, like, this all gonna pan out for my good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, sometimes it's hard to see that when we in the phase of struggle.
Yeah.
In the phase of lacking.
So one of my like favorite scriptures to go to when like just life, right? Just ebbs and flows of life is Ecclesiastes 7:14. Right? He say, in the day of prosperity, rejoice. In the day of adversity, consider. God made the one and the other so man would not know what's coming after him. Basically saying, don't get too high, don't get too low. Understand that I took everything away from you, Job. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Paul, I made you the greatest apostle, but you still finna be in prison.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Ooh,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I made both.
Yeah.
Highs and lows.
Yeah.
So you can only depend on me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always revert back to that scripture when like with the ebbs and flows of life, you know, people have emotions, people have seasons.
Yeah.
And it just bring me back center like, okay, God, you sent this.
Yeah.
So
nah, that's so good what you just said. And sometimes I even think about how God has factored in everything. You know, like he has factored in even what the devil think that he can get away with.
Right.
God has already factored that in the plan.
Yeah.
You know, like he's factored in his deception. He's factored in everything that the devil think he getting away with. Like he factored that in a way where it still turns out for your good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was looking at the story where Paul and Silas, where they were traveling and they ended up in prison and they were, you know, and I was thinking how, they was in prison, but the guard that was about to kill himself because they broke free, right? The guard, they broke free, but they stayed there when they could have left, right? But because they stayed there, the guard's family, they whole family, basically got witnessed to by Paul and Silas, and it said the whole household believed after that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the devil thought he was doing something when he locked them up, but he ain't know the whole guard and his family was gonna be saved.
Factual.
You know what I mean?
That's a word.
Like devil, you lose either way.
Yeah. So like, I've been meditating through Job the last like couple weeks, and it's always, I'll say this: you can't control what happened to you, right? Such is life,
right?
You feel what I'm saying? But like, how you respond is in your control. And like, I heard a wise man say, pay attention to a man when they first respond to what happened. That first initial response is gonna show you how this season gonna go. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, God called Job the greatest man in the East, in his region, the greatest, right? Rich, 7,000 sheep, 300 oxen, donkey, 10 kids. You know what I'm saying? And but the greatest thing he did was pray to God every day. Every day. So God had a certain rapport with him that he knew him.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And through him knowing him, he was able to tell Satan, like, look, you can try him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful scriptures in the book of Job to me is when he told Satan, all right, you can touch him. Just don't touch his soul.
Yeah.
And that tells me as long as your soul intact, as long as you heightened spiritually, right, have a sense of mental fortitude in essence, right, you can make it through what you're going through.
Yeah.
Right? And Job didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But his initial response, right, when he lost everything, Bible say he grieved, he mourned. Everybody can have their season because you know this new. But then he shaved his head and worshiped. And then he had a conversation with God. Blessings in your name. You take it, you give it away. The Lord giveth, the Lord take it away. Blessed still be in your name. And it say he did not curse God with his lips. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's because y'all wasn't around when I was praying to God by myself.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand that relationship out there.
Yeah.
Even when his wife jumped out of bounds.
Yeah.
Cursed God and God. You talking like a foolish woman.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna entertain that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So just always remember like that it responds. It dictates a lot. It shows a lot. It shows the care. God knew his character.
Yeah.
He knew the man. Like he knew, oh, he gonna hold fast to his integrity.
Yeah.
Even though, Satan, you entice me to bring him home.
Yeah.
This God speaking.
Dang.
He's still gonna hold fast, even though I let you get in my ear and try to get my the greatest off course.
Yeah.
So
dang, that's so good. Man, the fact that even we can hang on, even the fact that Satan gotta ask permission to even touch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And God trusting you enough to say, oh, he gonna be good.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He's solid. He ain't gonna fold. I tell my homies all the time, I be like, hey, bro, like, the worst thing you can be is a coward to yourself.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And I always think about Daniel when I say that because in the book of Daniel, when King Nebuchadnezzar tried to instill his culture into the people, right? Daniel stood tall on his standard and what he believed in, right? So much so he was willing to die for it.
Yeah.
Right? So much so he said, look, like I'm not gonna eat your meat. I'm not gonna drink your wine. Let's have a test. Right? I'm gonna just eat vegetables and drink water. And whoever come out, that's who come out.
Yeah.
Right? But the scripture that stood out to me with Daniel was he was like, look, he purposed in his heart not to defile himself. You feel what I'm saying? He made an agreement with himself.
Yeah.
You can translate that to everyday life, sports, whatever you want to do. Like, it's hard for me to see somebody that say they want something, but then when you hit some adversity, you fold. I never understood that.
Yeah.
Like, this what you said you wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you had this vision when you was by yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
So for you to fold on yourself, like, was it real or was it life getting you off course to forget why you said you was gonna do what you was gonna do? You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, that's heavy. Cause what can really be trusted if it can't be tested for real?
Factual.
You know what I mean?
That's a word.
Like, ooh.
I'm glad you said that. You know, Proverbs 17:3. It say, the crucible is for the fire. Is gold is the crucible is for the crucible is for silver and gold is for the fire, but the Lord tests hearts. You gotta be tested.
Yeah.
To see if you are who you say you are.
No, for real. For real. Because if not, it's just lip service.
Factual.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, and I even think now, just in the testing times as they continue to just increase around us, like God really seeing like okay, I hear a lot of people saying you for me, but like when things switch up, when things get shaky, when we get storms, when we get the inconveniences around us, like, who really riding for me for real? Because, like you said, like, God knows us to the core of who we are, the intentions of our heart. He knows who for him and who really just stamping his name on it and saying, like, yeah, I'm riding with you. In other words, like, he know the believers from the followers for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think when I just think about just how life, like we see life for what it is. We see crime. We see, how the world changes day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And God really making that distinctive line with who really riding for me and who really just, who really just tagging me to their name because they believe that's what's gonna bless them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all aware that God is the source that's gonna bless us, but it's like, nah, yo, you ain't really like for him for real.
Yeah. That's a good word. So like to piggyback off that, like I'm a wise man. I be watching these interviews, these little pods from like, so Nur Muhammad was like, in essence, he was saying every man, individual. He said you can lie to social media, you can lie to your partner, your spouse, your homeboy, you can make it look a certain way. He was like, but you can't lie to yourself. He said every man got a self-validating process within them. They know if they putting in this work, if they doing what they said they gonna do, if they honorable, if they steadfast, if they chin up, chest out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and God knows.
Yeah.
So the Bible say a man's ways is Proverbs 16:2. Man ways pure in his own eyes, but the Lord way the spirit. That's a word. Like,
yeah.
You feel like you doing something right, you feel like you moving right, and you doing something beneficial.
Yeah.
But God know.
Yeah.
He know your intentions.
He know for real.
So.
No, he know for real. And we say this, the saying is so, I guess, popular where like actions speak louder than words.
Factual.
You know, but like really think about that for real. You know what I mean? Like how you live your life, how you go about really gonna show if you believe what you're talking about. Anybody can give good lip service.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, like the devil himself was clever with his words from the beginning. The way he did twist and turn the words to deceive Eve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Words ain't never been something that we should be surprised that people know how to talk their way into a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you got to show me what you're talking about.
Factual.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think about that when I think about just how we really walk this faith thing out. You know what I mean? I can post, I can give as much as the Bible as the devil can.
Right.
You know what I mean? But how I live my life is ultimately going to demonstrate if I'm really believing what I'm talking about. How you carry yourself sometimes is the best way you can give somebody the word.
My pastor always say your video got to match your audio got to match your video.
No, for real. That's good.
He always say that.
Man.
Like, he always drop gems too, but.
Yeah, who your pastor drop it?
Walter August Jr., Bethel Family, Tap In, Fundry, Southwest side of Houston.
Nah,
yep.
That's what's up.
Yes, Lord.
That's what's up. So, as you've been overseas, what year are you on again?
13.
13 years. So as God continues to elevate you and bless you, is there any point in your life where the increase had the potential to distract you from like giving honor back to God? Like,
nah, like because way I was taught, off top, pay your tithes, give your tithes.
Yeah.
Off top, give your 10%. You know what I mean? Be honorable, you know? And so I feel like through that, that's where the increase came. Because he seen I was faithful.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm faithful.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's good.
And so, and then like with the increase, I always think about, okay, what can I do to put it back?
Yeah.
In my people's hands, in the community.
Yeah.
And etc. You know what I'm saying? So I never get too high on material because it can go in an instant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, as long as my soul is filled, I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you mature and just get older and journey in the faith, how intentional throughout your day does your devotion to God change? Like,
It don't. I'm up every morning 3:45, 4 praying, reading, meditating, at least an hour. At least an hour, right? That's like part of my everyday routine. You know what I'm saying? Before I go to bed, I read at least 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? As I'm riding in my car, I'm listening to people I respect that can, in essence, pour into me. You see what I'm saying? So like throughout the day, I'm on devotion. It ain't just no one-time thing. It's like, okay, wake up, pray, go to the other side of the house. I'm in my my space, getting right.
Yeah.
Getting the mind right. Like I don't feel comfortable without that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel that. And we were talking about before we even started how people always just acknowledging the fact that you always dropping gems because you was dropping gems from the jump. And how that flows natural out of you because of the simple fact that you are that intentional with what you're feeding yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, and I might quote this wrong, because even the word says, out of the mouth flows the abundance of the heart. You know, they say like you talk to somebody long enough, you'll know real quick like what they own.
Factual.
You know what I mean?
Real life.
And so just by sitting up and holding the conversation with you, shoot, about 5 minutes I'm like, man, like it's obvious to me what's in you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And given to even piggyback on, there's certain seasons where, and that's why you can't really judge people by the season that they're in. You know what I mean? Because shoes, even there were certain seasons in my life I wouldn't necessarily pick myself to be the top Christian in the bunch. You know what I mean?
Battle.
But to the core, to the character, to the spirit of a person, it's like, okay, nah, you just having a bad season. You just having a bad day.
Yeah.
And I think it was a saying that was going around that your Judas from your Peter. You know, they said Peter had a bad day.
Yeah.
Judas had a bad heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's too like so important that you just recognize like, nah, this, because some people will really discredit. I was just talking this about somebody. Some people will really discredit a person based on one thing they don't agree about them. And that's something that's happening right now. Like I see people who make YouTube channels straight discrediting pastors.
Yeah.
Given there are some wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Like let's acknowledge that.
Real life.
Right? But if this is if I truly see you as my brother in Christ, like why do I take pleasure
in seeing you down?
The
tables turn.
You know what I mean?
Tables turn quick.
They do. And I'm like that's saying more about you than it is them. You got like what?
Yeah. So like to like double back on like the Judas and Peter segment, right? You know what's wild to me is like Jesus chose Judas as his disciple. He knew who he was at his core, right? He kept him around because, in essence, he was more valuable in what he could bring than the other disciples. He was smart with money. He guarded the treasury. He just had a conniving heart. And Jesus knew this, though. So what I'm saying is, like, people keep people around long enough while it benefits them. Then the true you come out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I always, when people, compare to Judas and Peter, I was like, look, Jesus still kept him around for a season.
Yeah, because this thing still got to come to pass.
You feel?
Nah, that's a word. That's a bar, man. Man, so what is something that you would want, I guess, like, to say to people who are having a hard time holding on to the faith and, really just need to hear something that will push them in the direction towards God, to say, man, look, just surrender and submit and continue to journey this thing out. Like, what would you say that would just...
That's a good word. I'll say, get still. Like, get still. Like, don't make emotional decisions. Get still and seek God while you still. Like, be intentional about seeking God, right? Because he gonna reveal himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I tell him, like, look, like, you chosen.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstance you in, you chosen. How do I know? Paul was a killer. Killer. Cold killer.
Yeah.
Right? And he had a reputation.
Yeah.
How I know? Ananias. Like, hell nah, I ain't finna pull up on him.
Yeah.
I know this man. I know what he do.
Yeah.
You putting my life in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Right? What was Jesus' response?
Man.
That's he a chosen instrument of
Yeah.
mine. He gonna suffer for my name, but he chosen. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
Oof.
the circumstance you may be in, God know exactly what you're going through. Right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, realize you chosen, bro.
Yeah.
Like, chosen.
Yeah. God
know exactly who you are. He know exactly what you're going through. He know exactly what you can handle. He know what you can't handle. If as long as you breathing, bro, you got a chance, bro. And I just, that's what I tell them. Like, just keep going. Keep your chin up.
That's a word. And all it takes...
And it's not easy, though. Believe me, it's not easy. I know it's not.
Yeah.
Like the woman with the issue of blood, she bled for 12 years. She was broke.
Yeesh.
Broke. Every physician took all her bread. But this go back to, again, conversations with yourself.
Yeah.
She ain't say to nobody else. She said to herself, if I just get close enough.
Yeah.
That's encouragement.
Yeah. Ooh.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, the word I'm speaking right now isn't, like, I just gotta...
Yeah.
If this can change everything.
Yeah.
If I just get right here.
You just said a mouthful, bro.
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like she ain't give up on herself because she still knew, I'm still alive. I got one opportunity.
Yeah.
I may not see this man again.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because he passing through.
Yeah.
And she said to herself, encouragement. If I can just get close enough, touch this him, I'm going to be whole. She spoke that over her own life.
Yeah.
While she was broke, 12 years bleeding,
yeah,
cast out by other people, she still had a good word to speak over her own self.
Yeah. That's so good, bro. That's so good. And just by those two stories that you used, it just shows the true power behind one encounter.
One encounter.
Paul needed that one encounter to go from a murderer to like that greatest apostle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the woman of blood, like, knowing if I could just touch him, I know that I can be healed.
I know.
Like, all it takes is one encounter with God.
Mm-hmm.
Just really just sit with him in the midst, like, while you bleeding.
I feel like when my pastor, he told that story, he was like, look, you can try everything in the world. don't forget to try Jesus. She tried everything. And her circumstance didn't change. She tried Jesus one time, shifted, made her whole.
Man.
Your faith.
Man, and it's showing God's your free will when God gonna let you try everything else.
Well,
like, go ahead. And when you ready, I'm over here.
I'm still here.
You know what I mean?
I ain't switch up.
Man.
I don't switch up. No matter the season you in, I ain't switched up.
Yeah.
I ain't changed on you. I ain't folded on you. Yeah. I ain't gave up on you. My grace sufficient.
Yeah. Oof. That's a lot to chew on. You said a mouthful. Yeah. Man. But man, is there shoes? Any last words you want to just shoot? You've been dropping all episode, but
I just appreciate the invite. Yeah. I appreciate the vulnerability. Yeah. Just being open, being honest. I appreciate you. I'll tell you, just keep going. Stay consistent, even when you ain't motivated. Yeah. If you can stay consistent, everything else gonna shift for you. Yeah. Consistency is the separation. Yeah. Because motivation is a feeling. Yeah. Consistency is, I chose, it's who you are. Standard. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like people, everybody got a different standard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like my standard ain't going out to the club, ain't drinking, ain't smoking. Ain't against anybody who do that. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is my standard. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And so I'll just tell you, stay consistent, bro. Yeah. Stay consistent. Keep pushing forward, chin up, chest out. You know you're going to hit some adversity. Smile through it. Yeah. Understand it's brought by God. Understand God brings everything. Highs, lows, in between. Yeah. Sunshine on the just and the unjust. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Amen. Ooh. Man, well, shoes, I appreciate you coming on, dropping some stuff for even me to chew on. Like, I had to, like, stop myself from, like, really just sitting. Because when somebody say something, I got to sit on it for, like, 5 minutes to really, like, let it, like, right, and I'm like, oh, let me get to the next question. Because I really was like, ooh, I got to still chew on the last thing you said. Yeah. But nah, I appreciate it. And it's my prayer, shoot, that through this episode, like, it impacts, touch, you know, anybody that God intended for it to. Mm-hmm. And shoes encourage you too to keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. You know, and continue to just allow God to use you in every way that He predestined to do that. Absolutely. Even in the midst of you being uncomfortable. Right. So yeah, it's love, bro. Love. It's love. Absolutely. Yep. Y'all, I appreciate y'all for tapping into this episode of Keep Christ. And I hope that there was something that was said that will edify your spirit. And so, yeah, y'all be easy.